Hello and welcome. My name is Hart. I'm here with my buddy Jess again, we are going to be reviewing Ready to Rumble. This movie came out back in 2000. Stars David Arquette and Scott Conn, and they are just two schmoes, whatever you want to call them, and they just really love professional wrestling. This movie's set around WCW, so it kind of gives you the era that it came out in. And it also stars Oliver Platt as their favorite wrestler. So
the King.
Yeah, the King. Jimmy King, not Jerry the King Lawler. But yeah, they go on this wild trip, and you have all sorts of cameos from various actual wrestlers, like Goldberg's in it.
Billy Kidman, Diamond Dallas Page,
yeah.
Conan,
yeah.
Rey Mysterio's in it, Juventud Guerrero.
Honestly, I didn't even recognize Rey Mysterio. He actually doesn't have his mask on in this movie, so until Jess pointed him out, I actually didn't realize it was him.
Even there was a little nitbit of John Cena way back in the day when he was called the Prototype.
I actually didn't even see him in there.
He was in the scene where they meet Goldberg.
Okay, he's in the background.
Training. He was in the background right there. He was. Okay. He had the blonde mohawk.
Oh, interesting.
That's what he was. That's why he was called the Prototype back then.
Gotcha. But if you enjoy wrestling at all, I definitely recommend checking out the movie. It's a lot of fun. It's just stupid humor for the sake of stupid humor. And if you've ever watched professional wrestling, you should know what to expect, because that's very much what this movie is based around. And the writing for it, compared to professional wrestling, it was really well done, because it felt like you're just basically watching wrestling.
Exactly.
Rather than an actual movie that's supposed to be putting on a show about wrestling.
It was like, overall, the movie was really good. Like, there's so many nitbits that are so funny and shit. Like, one of my favorite parts.
Don't get into spoilers just yet.
Like, one of the favorite parts, just about the whole general about the movie, is the fact that, like, they believe in wrestling so much they don't think it's fake at all.
Yeah, yeah. This takes it to a whole nother level. On like these are not kids, obviously. These are grown men that still believe that wrestling's real. I would say check it out, and we're probably gonna get into some spoilers here, because I know there's stuff that Jess wants to talk about. So like, comment, subscribe. Let me know down below if there's any movie you want to hear my thoughts on. And
how would you rate this movie out of 10?
Dude, I don't rate movies, but fucking, I don't know.
For a wrestling movie,
7 out of 10. I don't know. It was a lot of fun, but obviously there were parts that probably could have been better. I would have preferred to see more wrestlers that I like a bit more, but given the fact of what they had to work with.
They had it's WCW.
Yeah, exactly.
One of their top wrestlers was Goldberg and Sting.
Sure. If you want to click off now, go right ahead. If you want to stick around or come back later, feel free. We're going to get into some spoilers here.
The first part, even the first scene alone, where he's like, one of the main characters is talking about his idol, the King, and he's just talking about these. He's just talking about. It looks like he's talking about to everybody, but it turns out he was talking to a bunch of kids in the front of a convenience store.
Right.
It's just, and then out of nowhere, the convenience store manager comes out, and he's just like, wrestling is fake. And he's all of a sudden, his co-host there, he's dreaming about him going in there and beating him up.
Yeah, that scene was really well done with David Arquette opposite the store manager. And they were, taunting each other like you would see in an actual wrestling ring. And it was good. I liked it. He gets into this whole dream sequence of him fighting the store manager. All of a sudden, the store has a ring in it with the ropes, and you have Jimmy King come out as his tag team partner opposite
to Macho Man.
The Macho Man, Randy Savage.
The only time you actually see Macho Man through the whole entire movie.
Yeah, in a dream sequence. He never shows up in the actual fights at all.
And then and top it all off, to finish off the whole dream sequence afterwards, they come back close to the end of the movie on that same store while he's still talking. He's still talking about it, and the kids finally believe it. That they did all the set that they did through the whole entire movie, and then smash! There goes the convenience store manager through the door, and there comes Goldberg, and then his friend dressed up like a wrestler, and he had Jimmy King come out there, and they make the store manager goes like, "Oh, I'm your bitch, and you're my daddy."
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah. I think the best part with the store though was still the blooper in the credits at the end.
Oh yes.
Where Oliver Platt goes to do a fake punch on Macho Man and he actually connects. So Oliver Platt actually punched Macho Man Randy Savage, and
he's like, "Oh shit!"
we don't see any more of what happened, but I hope he had a good sense of humor, because otherwise Platt probably got his butt kicked.
Oh yeah, Macho Man was pumped up back then.
There was a lot of good parts though. The wrestling itself was what you would expect. You had superstars doing some of their signature moves. Goldberg does the jackhammer at one point.
And the spear.
Yeah, and his spear, naturally.
Poor
pretty much
Saturn.
the only two moves in his repertoire.
Poor Saturn. Got his ass kicked.
Several times, once by an old man.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah, there's so many parts that are just really stupid humor that I still loved. And I don't know how most people feel about David Arquette. I don't mind him in most of the stuff that I have seen him in. But in this, he plays that really just sort of half brain dead character, and he plays it so well. Anytime that they meet a wrestler and they get to, meet him face to face, they've seen him on TV for so long, they always get excited and want to get hit. There's one part near the end where they're talking to Sting, and Scott Caan's character gets punched in the face.
Yes.
And David Arquette immediately starts jumping up and down. He's like, "Me next, me. And he gets punched in the face too. It's just,
yes.
Most people would be like freaking out, like, "Why did you do that?" or something. And he's just like, "Punch me in the face. Come on." Oh, it's great.
Another part in that, it's like, this girl, I think it's Sasha.
Yeah,
she was the lead Nitro girl, and they're spewing, they're talking about it, and while this 3 stages of hell they're working with, and there's a ladder flipping around, you can see it in the background, and he's like, and the main character, Sean
Scott Caan,
he's trying to warn her. It's like, "Hey, there's this ladder, swing it around," and it's like, not now, I'm talking. And next thing you know, she gets smacked right in the face, and he's like, "I was trying to tell you, don't stand close to the ring when there's a ladder match going on." What'd you think about the whole spiel on how it led up to that, where Jimmy King got screwed over into the title?
Like I said earlier, it felt very much like they had almost professional wrestling writers help writing the movie, because the storyline and everything played out pretty much what you would see in actual professional wrestling. With the exception of the behind the scenes that may or may not have actually happened. But like, the basic plot is that King is on top. He's the champion. He's been champion for fucking, I don't know if they actually said. I know they mentioned that he has like the longest reigning title reign
in history.
Yeah. But he ends up getting screwed over for real and fired, basically. The characters end up coming across him, helping him train. They sneak him back into the arena, and he hijacks, he ambushes Diamond Dallas Page, and the owner ends up getting one more match, basically, and the title's on the line. He puts $1 million on the line, but he has to put his entire career, not just with WCW, but they stated as he can never wrestle again.
Yes.
So, I mean, that whole storylines start to finish. We've seen things like that in the actual WWE as well. So it felt pretty solid overall. Like, obviously, I'm not saying like it's a great plot or anything. It's fucking wrestling, but it felt more well put together than a lot of like blockbuster movies around these days.
Yeah, true.
For what it was supposed to do in the actual movie itself.
And the fact that they used the three stages of hell.
Oh yeah, triple cage, a cage on top of a small cage on top of a slightly bigger cage on top of a normal sized cage.
And the only way to get to the second level is through a ladder that you have to climb.
Well, technically, they could have broke open the gate and climbed up the outside, but they didn't.
No, they used the ladder. You're supposed to use the ladder to go up the second stage, and then there's a chain ladder you can get up to the third stage.
Yeah, and then on top of the top cage was the title hanging above the ring.
Yes.
So, as cool as that may or may not be to see if they actually brought it to real professional wrestling,
it'd be very dangerous.
It would be way too dangerous. I think that's probably why they've never tried it.
They did it in WCW.
They actually did? Wow.
3 times, and that's how David Arquette.
Okay.
That's how he won the WCW title.
Oh, wow.
He's actually won the WCW title shortly after this movie came out.
Wow. See, I never actually watched WCW, so I didn't get into wrestling until I think just around the end of the Attitude Era.
Oh, what do you think of
the WWE?
The closings of the 3 stages of hell? Diamond Dallas Page gets body slammed on the top of the top and falls straight down all through all 3 stages. But when you're watching him fall, it looks like he's gonna land on the top of his head.
Yeah, continuity error. Obviously, for the shots where he was falling, it was more than likely a stunt double, and they had padding because when they showed it, it was always from the side or from underneath as he's falling. So you never actually see the mat until when he actually, lands there. But
then he lands flat.
Yeah, obviously they probably couldn't get a solid fall where it looked like he would land on his back, and every one he was always tilted a bit more towards his head. So if he would have landed on his head from that height, I'm pretty sure he'd be dead. Probably would have broke his neck. even with the give on the mat, still would have probably snapped his neck.
Yeah, there's no way. Maybe even from that height, you might fall through it. That's possible.
It depends on how solid it is. I mean, usually when they break the ring like that, it's already
staged.
Yeah, it's staged. It's supposed to happen. So they have a weak spot that they probably just unhook or something like that for that part, and then they go through it.
Overall, what do you think of the? Overall, would you rate, think of the movie? I don't know why I'm going to rating for some reason.
I never rate movies because I hate the rating systems. Like, oh, well, it's a 7 out of 10. Like, the fuck does a 7 out of 10 mean? I just usually say recommend or not recommend. Like, fuck off. But
what'd you think?
What I thought of the movie? I enjoyed it. It was a great movie. I loved it the first time I saw it. I loved it now. Even though I don't really follow wrestling anymore, I still enjoy seeing wrestling at times. For me, it's always been more about the entertainment value, about the characters. Do I like the characters that they're portraying? And that's part of the reason why I stopped watching the WWE when I did, because a lot of the characters were going, and you're just bringing in, like, John Cena. He's not so much of a character anymore as he is just a person with a name.
Yeah.
Like, you have the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. You have The Game, Triple H. You have The Undertaker. They're characters that they're portraying. John Cena is just John Cena.
Oh, he used to be the doctor.
He used to be the doctor of Thugonomics, but he dropped that.
Which is silly. They should have kept it around.
It had its moments. It wasn't something that I always loved to see, but it had a few good moments.
I really think they should have made it the second one for Ready to Rumble.
You think they should have had a sequel? I don't know.
Make the sequel based on The King and David Arquette going for the tag titles.
Yeah, but that might have been pushing it. Like, how much can they stretch this gimmick and still keep it good? That's the problem. That's the problem with sequels, is you have something that goes over really well, and then it's like, unless you have it planned out in advance that you're going to be making this larger story, how do you make a sequel that will continue with the same impact and entertainment value that the original had?
Yeah, I still would have liked the sequel though.
It could have been good. It had potential.
This movie was really well done, and I really think they should have made a sequel. That's just me.
Yeah, I guess we would both recommend checking it out if it's something that you would be interested in. If you enjoy wrestling, definitely a must watch.
Yes, for sure.
So, I think that's probably it for now, and I'll see you later. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and have a good one.
Take her easy.